Hey, I am Allie, and I am so excited that you are joining me for this training on how to go from being a teacher to becoming an instructional designer with the teacher skills that you already have, because you don't need to go back and get another master's degree in instructional design in order to become one. Now, obviously, this is a recorded workshop. There's pros and cons to that. I don't want to have to wait around for a webinar when there's something I want to watch. I want to just be able to access it right then. So I've got it on demand for you. But the con is you can't ask questions live and just get answers from me right here, right now. So I want you to feel free to send any questions my way so that we can get you the answers that you need. I also want to use your time as best as possible. So I'm going to turn off my camera so that you can just focus on the screen. And I'm going to make some promises to you about what you are going to learn and get out of this. And then we're going to jump right in. So first of all, I want you to know that with this presentation, you are going to see a variety of work opportunities. And those opportunities want your teaching background. And you don't need to go and get a master's degree in instructional design. You don't have to spend years doing homework, thousands of dollars to get a fancy piece of paper, right? A diploma. You have incredible skills already from experience in the classroom. So let's go ahead and move forward. So we are going to cover a few different secrets. Secret number one, why great teachers make incredible instructional designers. Number two, why you don't need a master's degree in order to become one. And number three, what you do need to become an instructional designer. So we will get to all of that. So does this sound like you? Because this definitely sounded like me when I was in the classroom. Do you dream of being able to make learning experiences and resources for companies, but you're struggling with where to even start, right? To get beyond the classroom. Do you want to advance your career and have more work opportunities without going back to grad school or without going back to grad school again? Do you feel stuck or stagnant and you see friends around you succeeding and having new opportunities? I felt so plateaued. What about feeling, and I do see that there's a typo and I will totally change that in the slide deck later, but let's move on and get you what you need. Do you struggle to break free from what you've always done so that you can move forward in life beyond the classroom, right? Do you have a vision of influencing learning beyond your classroom, but you're not sure where to start and what to do? If you relate with any of these bullet points, then you are in a place where, yeah, like you're in a good place as far as being able to relate, because I felt so much like that. And it's not your fault if you feel like that, if you feel like you've ended up at this point, because the education system, it's not designed for teachers to advance. It's designed for teachers to become really good at what they do and to stay there. Sure, you might be paid a little bit more year by year, but they want you to stay put, so to speak. And if you're wanting more, it's just not designed for that, but that is what teacher transition is designed for. So let's find out how. Now, the truth really is when we look at the research of why teachers are taking new jobs and doing more, we see that over 200,000 teachers in the US alone choose something different for work every year. And it's not for bad reasons. The majority of teachers indicate in the research that they are seeking advancement and development. What a great thing. That's something to be proud of, and proud of the pursuit of it. So good job for what you're pursuing. If we haven't met before, I'm Allie, and I've been where you are as a teacher. I get it, right? I get you. I not only know what it's like to be there, but I also know what it's like to go beyond the classroom and how to make that happen. So I've been there. I know how you feel. I wanted to use my teaching skills and love of education to help more people, not just a limited number of students, right? I wanted to help more people beyond the walls of my own classroom. And I wanted more opportunities for my future, but I felt so limited. And I felt limited for a long time. But I tried so many things to mix it up, change it up, and to advance. Like, of course, I made some resources and sold them on Teachers Pay Teachers. I got an endorsement. I had a teacher blog and did some social media stuff. I taught adults in the evenings. I got a master's degree. I attended conferences. I got certifications in things like Franklin Covey's 7 Habits, the Leader in Me program. I tried changing schools, changing grade levels, then not just attending at conferences, I presented at conferences. And then I was like, well, what do I do? Like, do I just go back to grad school? Do I do a different master's or a PhD program? I basically did everything that the administrators, that the professors, that the gurus told me, hey, here's what you can do, right? And administration wasn't of interest to me. I wanted to do more with education in a different role. So, like I said, I really tried everything. My parents are some of the best cheerleaders anyone could ever ask for. Going back, getting a master's, right? Great students. I taught in a really great community. This is my classroom one of the last years. This is one of the topics that I loved presenting on. Yeah, presenting at conferences felt like fresh air. I could tell that I was learning, expanding, growing, networking, and I really enjoyed it. So what really happened, like, even though I did so much, I still couldn't get the new opportunities I wanted. The longer I taught, the clearer it became that a change was a need, not just a want. And we're responsible when we see to our needs, even and maybe especially in our career path. So I've blurred this out for privacy for the students, of course, but I went from feeling stuck and struggling to find opportunities for work that built on my teaching background to having opportunities that keep coming my way and that need my educator skills. They want my personal creativity, and they give me the flexible lifestyle that I really enjoy and love. This picture is from training teachers on ed tech, one of the first things that I did as I went beyond the classroom. So what about instructional design though? What opportunities has working in instructional design provided me with? Some of my favorite projects that I've worked on have been for education companies like Franklin Covey's Leader in Me program. I loved it in the classroom. And as an instructional designer, I was able to create resources that they use to train their teachers, live and online. Yeah, so that it has influence way beyond the walls of the classroom. Such a fun project. Other projects have been helping companies have create materials and live training resources and online training resources so their employees can be more engaged, happier at work, and happier in life. And other projects have been things to help both youth and adults understand and be able to teach scripture, like the Bible. And I've loved working with content like that, as well as how to learn effectively because of the teacher's skills and background that I have. So many awesome opportunities, and I've really loved it. But it took the initiative to go beyond my classroom and to do it successfully. So this is my life, right? And the path that I took finally gave me the freedom to feel valued for my creative educator ideas, to work with the curriculum topics that I love the most. Dinosaurs and decimals weren't really doing it for me anymore. Not so much. And to be able to influence tens of thousands of students, teachers, and learners far beyond the walls of any classroom. I really can say that the world is my classroom, and I love it. So what do teachers ask me most frequently? First of all, what is instructional design? Maybe you have this question as well. Here is one way to think about it. You can think about a teacher as being the mouthpiece, the one that kind of distributes the learning. And you can think of an instructional designer as the teacher's director. They make the lesson plans. They design the curriculum, they write the content, they create the resources that teachers then use. And so they really scaffold for the success of the teacher. There are so many needs for it in so many different settings and so many opportunities. Let's talk about what some of those might look like. I want you to pretend that your school district or your school or learning organization, they come to you and they say, hey, we are having a change with how we're going to be teaching everybody. Does this sound familiar with everything going on in the world right now? We need someone who can give us really effective learning strategies for scalable lessons, and we need them to be able to make the materials for those lessons on the topic you teach. Can you do that for us? That role is instructional design. What if it's not your district? What if it is an education company like Pearson? Let's say they come to you and they're like, hey, we have thousands of new teachers every single year that use our resources. We need them to be trained in person. We need them to be trained online. How should we train them so that they can know how to use these things effectively? And then you can advise them on that. And then they ask you, how, well, can you make this for us? And that, both aspects of that, those are the elements of the instructional design role. What if it's not in the education sector? All of these are examples from the work that I've done since going beyond my classroom, including this one. What if a healthcare company has discovered a new treatment, a way of doing something more effectively? That's not enough to just discover it. They now need to train the doctors. And so they come to you and they ask, how should we teach them so that they can learn X, Y, and Z, right? These things and be able to do this. So you work with them and clarify the learning objectives. And then they ask, well, can you create that so that we can train these doctors? All of that is instructional design. So exciting. It can be done remote or on site, part-time, full-time, for education companies, non-education companies, universities, course creators, and so much more. There really are so many different needs, especially in the world right now, in different settings and so many different opportunities. It's pretty exciting and a pretty exciting time for it. So the other question that I get most often is like, okay, now that I get what it is, how do I get a job in it? And the assumption is, oh, I just need to go get a master's degree or a certificate, right? No, you don't. Let me tell you why. And this is one of the biggest reasons why I wanted to share this with you. So these are the three big secrets. This is exactly why today I'm going to be showing you how to become an instructional designer without a master's degree in it. Take those years of your life and do something else. Do instructional design, right? So you're ready to get started. Let's find out how to open up these future opportunities using the teaching experience and skills that you already have. Secret number one, great teachers make excellent instructional designers. Why is that? It's because you already know what makes learning engaging and effective. You have creative ideas for learning experiences. You have organizational skills to plan and carry out a project. You have so many things going on, and with classes and students, you are incredible at multitasking and being organized and on top of things. You've learned through years of experience what instructional designers learn about in school. Things like learning objectives, theory, backwards planning, curriculum development, assessment, and so much more. You already know these things. So here's just an example from the first place where I started working. It was at an agency, and we would make trainings for a lot of different companies. So I started working there. I did not have a master's in instructional design. And the first week or two, did they really train me? Not so much. Like, they had me look at some of the materials that they'd made for other companies. And then they had me sit down with a pad of paper and a pencil, and they said, okay, let me just give you a scenario. Like, this is going to be the learning audience, you know, a new employee at this kind of a company. And here's what they need to learn. What would you recommend or create for them? And then they gave me a little bit of time to myself. And so I sketched it out, kind of like with what you see on these Post-it notes, and just took them my ideas a little while later. And I remember her saying to me, she's just, wow, like, you're going to be really good at this. It wasn't because of anything that they'd taught me or told me. It's because I'm an educator, and you are too. And you already have so much skill and strength and so much to contribute. So lesson number one that I got out of this was, all that time that I'd been wanting new opportunities and experiences, the only thing holding me back was myself. And so it's okay to just step into your future. Sometimes you need a guide or help to make that happen. I want you to realize how qualified you are for designing instruction because of the skills you have as a teacher. You need to know that they're rare and that they are valuable. Sometimes you just haven't seen them applied in different settings. So I went from being an elementary school teacher to an instructional designer at an agency, then a corporation, and then for my own company. And now that company has grown into an agency and we make materials for other companies. So secret number 2 is you don't need a master's degree or a certification to become an instructional designer. But this is actually a screenshot of the master's program that I started applying to. That is an instructional design program. I already had a master's degree in education, but I thought, well, if I'm going to become an instructional designer, I need a master's in that specifically. You don't. And so partway through applying to this program, I thought, well, why don't I just go for the job and apply to it? And I did it in a certain way and it successfully worked out. And so, but this assumption that you need a master's degree is so common. These are some of the false assumptions. Teachers, especially women, we know this from research, these are the myths, the false assumptions that we frequently have. Number 1, I'm not prepared without a certification in it, or I'm not qualified without a degree in it, or I can't apply if I don't match every bullet point on the job description. That last one specifically sets women apart from men very distinctively. You're legitimate because of the incredible skills and abilities you have. Let me give you a little example. In my role right now, when we need to bring on an instructional designer for certain projects, I find them, I hire those instructional designers. So let's consider 2 different applicants. Applicant number 1, on their resume, it tells me they have a degree and they have a certification. Okay, they've got a master's in it. Applicant number 2, applicant B, they have experience doing instructional design. They have skills for what I need, the roles I need to fill, and they have proof showing me that they have done this stuff. Well, a master's degree is not as valuable as proof that you've got skill and ability. And so that's what I want you to realize, recognize, and prepare so that you can land jobs doing this. So lesson number 2, you don't need to take years of your life and a lot of cash to become an instructional designer. You already have skills and experience. You are already enough. Takeaway number 2, you're qualified because of those skills that you have. You don't need a piece of paper to tell you that you're legitimate, right? A diploma. You already are. So Linda is a teacher that I have loved working with. She then, after working together, she had multiple offers within a month. And she now, out of those offers, she got an offer to work at an agency as an instructional designer and some other cool offers too. She selected a training position, training adult learners, and it's on a topic that she loves. I've loved working with her. We'll talk more about her in a bit, but just like her, she didn't have to have a master's degree in order to have those job offers at an instructional design agency, right? So, but there are things that you do need to become an instructional designer without a master's degree or a certification in it. So the mistake that's often made is assuming that all you need then, if you don't need a master's, then assuming that you just need a teacher resume, teacher experience, and to let them know what a good teacher you are. This is a mistake. What you do need is to know how to translate your teacher skills into their instructional designing needs. Here are some of them. Skills that you need are designing learning experiences, creating learning resources with specific instructional design tools. You need experience with hands-on work creating real resources or real learning experiences. And you need proof, like a portfolio, that shows specific pieces that companies look for. You also need to know about actual job opportunities, and there are different sources for different types of opportunities. LinkedIn is not like the only one place to go, especially if you want a job that values classroom experience in your career path. You also need connections, right, to instructional designers in the field. You need a resume that is not a teachery resume, but you need your instructional design skills highlighted on it. And you also need to know how to interview, and you want your interview to be very future focused, not just everything about your past. So takeaway number 3, you've got to be able to translate your teacher skills into instructional design skills. You need to be able to demonstrate that you know and do what they need. And you do that through a portfolio with certain pieces in it. Sharon is another awesome example. She was a high school teacher, technology specialist, and after maybe a month and a half, she landed a job at a university as an instructional designer. Again, she didn't have to have a master's degree in it. She just had to have some of these things that we've talked about. So let's recap the 3 secrets, right? Great teachers make incredible instructional designers. You don't need a master's degree or a certification to become an instructional designer, but you do need certain things to become one, like instructional design skills, proof, experience through opportunities, a resume, and the other things that we've discussed. So maybe you feel like you've got all of that and you are ready to roll. You've got your resume ready, you've got a portfolio ready, you know the instructional design tools, you're good to go. You've got experience. Or maybe you feel like, I'd love this, I'm ready for some help. Well, so if you're not sure if you can make it happen on your own, really you were never intended to do all of this on your own. I completely understand, because I've done it on my own, and it took me years, and it was not easy. Those were not easy years. So teachers have asked, and this is why I created something for you. So, you know, we've already talked about some of the things that you do need, but in order to help you with it, I've created something for you. Here's how you can know if this is a good fit for you or not a good fit for you. It's not for you if what you really want, you know, with your future is to create just like downloadable printables and sell them on Teachers Pay Teachers or Etsy resources. It's not for you if you just want a quick and easy side hustle that you can, you know, start next week. And it's not for you if you want to be an online teacher for like VIP kids or a different online teaching role. But it is a perfect fit for you if you want future work opportunities that build on your teaching skills, a variety of opportunities. And if you want to be valued and appreciated for your teaching skills and background, and if you want to design and create learning experiences and resources, then this is a perfect fit for you. So if we can get a little drum roll, please. And I'm so excited to share this with you. This is our course called From Teacher to Instructional Designer. It is an online course, and it's also a community of teachers that are all working in this direction. So imagine a one-stop shop where you can walk step by step through the process to become an instructional designer. It includes instruction, experience, and connection. I've made it really simple for you so that through the course and community, you will have the instructional design skills, knowledge, and hands-on experience that you need. You're going to feel prepared and confident contributing your educator skills as an instructional designer, and you're going to have prepared an instructional design portfolio, resume, cover letter, and work samples. And you don't have to do them from scratch because I've created templates that I'll give you for all of those things. You're also going to have interviewing skills and connections to opportunities and to companies. I love being able to help with that. So I mentioned Linda earlier. Here's a little bit of what she said about taking the course and her experience with it. She said, I'm so grateful to have found Allie. I had taken a few courses that were labeled as instructional design courses, but mainly covered theory. Teacher transition covers the nuts and bolts of what an instructional designer actually does and how to transition from classroom teacher to instructional designer. The course has given me confidence, and that's the number one word, like highest, most frequently used word that teachers use in describing the course, and I love that. The course has given me confidence and direction on what skills I already have as a teacher, as well as how to develop a great resume and portfolio to transition to an instructional design career. I landed an amazing training position in my first month in the course. I'm so excited for her, and I love hearing about it. So how does the course work? It's split up into different modules. In the first one, you see kind of the lay of the land of the whole field of instructional design. And then from that zoomed out perspective, you identify the kind of instructional design job that you want, because there are quite a variety. Next, you learn the process for instructional design that's used at real companies. And then you start having hands-on experience. You're going to design for a learning need. After that, more hands-on experience, you start creating what you designed for that learning need. And then after that, more hands-on experience, you ensure the effectiveness of what you created. And after that, boom, we get to finding and landing your next dream job. So how does it work? We have on-demand lessons that you can take at your own pace. And then if you need live support from me, there are ways to reach out to access that. And you can get personalized feedback, but you can also get that in our community and really awesome support. Here, now you can take it at your own pace. Some people jump in, go right to what they need and cruise through fast. I recommend splitting it up into 6 weeks because you're actually going to be creating each week, not just listening to videos. So you're going to go at your own pace. Maybe you're wondering, okay, that's amazing, but what is included? Here's what you'll receive when you sign up. You're going to get the online course. We've got step-by-step guidance, training videos, linked resources, written tutorials, actionable activities, and again, you can do it all at your own pace. You're going to get the personal packet workbook. It's printable, or you can, you're going to be able to fill, it will have step-by-step instructions for you, vocabulary lists, checklists, and action items, linked resources, and more. You get to use it, digitally or download and print. We also have training videos. They are clear, concise, and actionable. Next, you've got a template toolkit for instructional designers. So it is digital, it is printable, you can customize it online, or you can print it and fill it out by hand. It's going to guide you step by step in designing for instruction, okay? You can use it not only in the course, but after you get hired in an instructional design job. You can use that on the job. You're also going to get a personal portfolio package. You've got to show companies what you can do, and companies are going to be looking for specific things. I've already created it for you. You've got access to a low tech option if you don't want to make a website portfolio. I've got an online option for you for that, really easy. Or if you want a higher tech option, we've got resources for that as well. Next, you're going to get access to our course member only community. You're going to get support here. You can ask questions, share what you're working on, get feedback, hear about current job openings, and not just job openings, but job openings that also want former teachers. And of course, I share stuff that's, corporate company job listings as well. Everything's not in the education sector. And you're going to be able to connect, get support, and so much more. I love what people post there. So you're also going to get ready to roll resume templates. These are educator enhanced. So they include on them already educator background and experience, and it translates that into instructional design lingo. You've got multiple templates. They've all been approved by hiring managers, and we've got video instruction on how to have an effective resume. We've got created for you cover letter templates. These also build on your teaching background. So you can just customize it with what you need. But again, it translates things into instructional design lingo. And they have also been approved by hiring managers. This is from Chris. Chris joined the course in May. He landed his job in June. His current title is a learning specialist. He's working in a nonprofit. He jumped into the course, went straight to the content that he personally needed, and just went straight to the job. I loved seeing him just get it done. It was awesome. So here's, you've been hearing from me a lot, but let's hear from our course members. What is it that they are saying? So Molly said, this is an amazing course. She said, I'm learning so much. The course is so well organized. Allie breaks everything down into easily manageable tasks. The parallels between teaching and instructional design are laid out very clearly, allowing me to see how my teaching experience is applicable to instructional design. I'm gaining confidence in my skills, and I'm always excited to jump into each new lesson. I loved hearing that. Emily said, it's like you see yourself in this course. It's clear immediately that Allie has been in the shoes of a teacher transitioning to a new role and been in a job that she knows she needs to move from, but it's so hard to know how to make the transition sometimes. She gets it and has been there. Just knowing that we have someone leading the class who has had such familiar experience and succeeded makes me feel hope and encouragement. And by the way, the materials she's designed and the look of this are fantastic and a great example. She clearly knows what she's doing. She walks you through things in a way that I hope to model one day as well. I love that from Emily. So let's talk about some of the content that's in the course and what it's really worth. The course itself is worth over $1,500. The template toolkit over $300, the portfolio packet over $100, the personal portfolio well over $100, ready to roll resume templates over $200, the cover letter templates over $100, professional development hour certificate. Oh, I haven't even mentioned this yet. This is the only course out there where you can get a PD certificate, so that if you are going back into the classroom, let's say you're going to be teaching next year, well, we might as well get you PD hours for this, right? So you're going to have a certificate for that. And you'll get access to the private community. It's valued over $300. We share a lot of job opportunities and things like that. They're really exciting. But you're also going to get, for a limited time, we have access to our guest speaker gallery of former teachers that are now instructional designers. I'll tell you more about that in just a bit. And you're going to be able to actually connect and network with them. All of this added up is worth well over $3,000. And when you compare it to getting a master's degree, goodness, it's a fraction of the cost. But let's talk about a more important question. Not, just what is this worth financially when we tally it all up, but what would it be worth to you if you could stop wondering, what else could I do? Or if you could actually move forward in your life and feel like you're progressing on your path to where you want to be. What would it be worth to you to have actually a lot of opportunities open up for your future? What would it be worth to you, or to your family, or your future family, or to the people that you'll influence through the learning materials and resources that you create? So while all of it is valued at over $3,000, I want you to think about, what would all of those things that we listed, what would those be worth to you? Now, maybe you're thinking, okay, I can tell I really, really, really love the idea of this. I love the idea of like my future, being able to use my educator skills in these kinds of ways. Maybe I should like look around for how I can make this happen by myself, or shop around. Now, I understand shopping around. Amazon, goodness, I get it. I don't want you to think like that I'm going to charge you $3,000 something. For a limited time, we've brought the price to $325. Okay. So I want you to think, what would this be worth to me? And currently, for a limited time, we are selling it for $325. Now, if you're like, I gotta shop around, I've already done that for you. Let me tell you about the other options out there. There are not very many options out there. The next one costs $1,500. There are a couple other online courses in the 3,000s and pretty much $5,000. Or if you want an online degree in it, one of the least expensive options, not a bad option, is Western Governors University. I will say, well, if you finish it within 2 years, you're going to be paying $1,300. If you take longer, you pay more. And then some of the members in our course have already done that degree. And they're one of the reasons why I created the course, because they're like, look, I did my master's in this and I still have no idea what an instructional designer does. But they learned a really good theory and stuff about assessments. So there you go. Or if you want an in-person master's degree, one that is really good if you get accepted after taking a year to prepare and apply and all of that, is Indiana's. And their tuition plus life expenses, if you finish within 2 years, is over $100,000. So there is shopping around and the other options financially. Let's talk about different aspects, not just price, okay? This course, From Teacher to Instructional Designer, is the only one where you're going to get a professional development certificate, right? That you can submit to your principals or your administrators. And when the course was first created, I didn't have more certifications than that because it wasn't of interest, but some teachers expressed interest. So if you want certifications, there is the option to add multiple, right? We've got multiple certifications as an add-on option if you'd like. If you would like if you get a master's degree, obviously you're getting a degree. This is the only course out there that is specifically for teachers. And it's one of the only ones where you can have live learning. Like if you need help and assistance from me, you've got ways to access that. And it's the only one where you'll have on demand. Like it's one of the only ones where you have both options of live and on demand. It's the only one where we share a lot of job postings for teachers. It's one of the only ones that provides you with templates for your portfolio and the instructional designing work that you need to do. And it's one of the only ones that has internship experience. So in the company, the instructional design agency that I run, when opportunities come up with certain clients that align with what people are working on, there are potential internship opportunities there. And it's the only course where there is high connection with education companies that want to hire former teachers. So you'll hear about training positions and other things like that. Pretty cool. So this is an email from one of our course members. I appreciate that she, is looking out for me. So anyway, here's what she said. She said, maybe you're already aware, but I wanted to point out how cheap you're selling your services. I enrolled in another instructional design class, and this was prior to finding this one. She said, I enrolled in another instructional design class for $1,000 that was much less structured, and recently inquired about a third, which was $350 per month over a period of 9 months. That's over $3,000. I mean, I appreciate the low pricing, but you seem so sweet and knowledgeable. I want you to get what you deserve. So thoughtful, so considerate. And I know that this is totally the case. This is an incredibly low price course. Why? Maybe it's because both of my parents were teachers and I'm just really used to things being very economical, but currently it is priced really low, and that is very limited time. So yeah, for a very limited time. So let me tell you more about the bonus that you'll get by signing up soon. This is a part of our guest speaker gallery. These are all former teachers, and they have all gone into instructional design in different roles. And there are more. They're not all pictured here, but you get to hear their paths. They're going to teach you about what they do. You get insider tips. They're going to show you behind the scenes instruction of what they do in their job, and then you're able to connect with them personally. So really, really great. Dorothy said about the course, she said, Allie is incredibly professional, responsive, and encouraging. The course is well organized and has been an enjoyable challenge, pushing me in a new direction. I especially love it because I have been able to get so many individual questions answered. I highly recommend this course for any teacher considering a transition into the instructional design industry. Sophia said, it's so structured and well organized. Allie is accessible and responsive as well as professional. It's a true bargain. And Christina said, it's feeding my soul and passion. I related with so much of what she described here. She said, I am so thankful for this course. I have felt that there is something greater, bigger, new that I am supposed to be doing. And this program is reaffirming that and building my confidence on the way. Feeling blessed to have stumbled upon Allie. I relate with the feeling of there's something more, something greater, bigger, new that I'm supposed to be doing. Yeah, I love this. Meant a lot to me from Christina. Tracy said, can I be an instructional designer and a project manager? Yes. Prior to starting this course, my confidence level in instructional design was near zero. By lesson 2, not only was I confident in one area of instructional design, but all areas. As teachers, we do this type of work on a daily basis. Allie has taken what we do and converted it into instructional design language. And Tracy also is now working at a large company and creating their training and learning materials. Yeah, in the corporate world, pretty cool. Yeah, I love hearing what she shares and posts. So let me just ask you a question. Which of these two paths are you going to take? Path number 1, you can try to figure it out on your own, wasting time, money, and energy trying to put all the pieces together, right? I tried that. I tried that for, right? It took me a couple years. Or path number 2, you can finally get the support, guidance, resources, and accountability that you need to succeed without the stress. If I could have expedited my progress and not had those 2 years of that kind of stress, wow, that would have been worth, oh my goodness, so much. Let me tell you, let's go back to Sharon's story, right? She's the one that landed the job at the university. She landed her job before even finishing the course. As she went through the course, she simply updated her resume and put the things in it that we'd talked about and that she'd experienced while she went. She had her resume posted online. You guys, she didn't even apply to the job. They found her because of what she'd put on her resume, based on what she'd learned in the course. They reached out to her. Pretty cool, more than cool. So if you feel like you are in similar circumstances of like, okay, I'm trying new things, I'm exploring new things, I brainstorm new things, I still want new opportunities, I completely get it. That's exactly what the course is all about, and it's for you. So be sure to sign up before the bonus goes away so that you get the guest speaker gallery and before the price goes up. I want you to have all of these things and access to them. So enrollment is open and the pricing is low. You can join me and the awesome teachers in the course. Again, you're going to get the course, the templates for the instructional designing, the personal packet, the personal portfolio, ready to roll resume, created for you cover letter, private course community access, professional development certificate, and so much more. And again, for right now, you can get access to that guest speaker gallery of the former teachers that are now instructional designers with all discounted pricing, right? Because really, you already have teaching skills. You just need to know how to set yourself up for success to land a job doing instructional design. So if you want to go from this before to this after, this course is for you. If you've been struggling to break free from limited opportunities of classroom, so you can finally have more work opportunities and ways to share your teaching gifts, and you want to finally create more opportunities in your life for yourself and your family and those who will benefit from your influence, join me, right? And the amazing teachers that are in this course. Again, for a limited time, the pricing is deeply discounted. We've got it for you. And I want to leave you with a final thought of something that I think to myself frequently about decisions that I'm making. You know, if I'm going to sign up for a course, if I'm going to take advantage of a certain opportunity, I think to myself, in the future, when I look back on now, what do I want to be able to say about it then? And I definitely want to be able to say, I did the very best I knew how to do. I used the best resources. I reached out to the best mentors. I capitalized on the opportunities. Okay. So I also know some of my biggest weaknesses of why I don't go about certain things sometimes is that I sometimes have a tendency to be cheap, and I sometimes have a tendency to be overly perfectionistic. Those two things have held me back for way too long. And I see a lot of those things in the teaching sphere. So if you feel like, look, this is something that I really, really want, but this price point is so high, I want you to keep in mind the price points of the other options out there. But also I want you to keep in mind that there are different costs. You know, if it's emotional costs, if it's psychological costs of staying in the classroom and feeling stagnant, there's so many other costs. And if it's the sense of, well, I want to go about all of this really perfectly, but I don't know how, that's exactly what the course is for. We're going to guide you step by step. You don't have to do this alone. So again, when you look back on now, what do you want to be able to say about it then? Let's make a choice that you feel really awesome about. So again, for a limited time, the course is at $325. I would love to have you in it, and you will get all of this and more. As soon as you sign up, you're going to have immediate access to the course, to all of the resources, and to the private community. So I would love to see you in the community and in the course. Reach out if you need anything, and I'll see you in the course.